RDF, she worked up north, up in the northern part, really. So with the wound, when would you are you talking about like that or the cardiac patient?
Yeah, cardiac patients mostly.
If the blood pressure is really high, would you ever just put that patient back to bed?
No.
What would you do? You call the nurse and let them know, right?
But at what point do you like contact the doctor? Because I thought that we did.
You would never contact the doctor personally.
Okay.
You guys would never contact the doctor, especially if you work, especially on the licensure exam. That is not true in daily work here around this area. The doctor came up to you and asked you a question and you told them to go talk to your PT, you call your PT, they would be very angry. And so, but on the licensure exam, you will never talk to a doctor, okay? You always have them go through the PT or to the nurse, or the nurse makes the decision on the floor about pretty much everything. They really are your boss in that way when it comes to a patient being in an emergency situation. What if you have a patient goes into fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation? What are you going to do?
Call code.
Call a code, right? So what do you do in that situation? You call the nurse, but you start the code, right?
Yep.
They're your first person. Call 911.
The blue button? And so, yeah, when you say code blue, does it just mean code color? They don't gotta be blue?
Almost always it is a code blue, but I do know that some hospitals have changed that because people always know that means someone is dying.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever code is an emergency, you know that someone has had a heart attack or they're in trouble. So some of them are codes. Sometimes they'll say code red.
But you're
But
not gonna
code
do
red,
that
really,
sometimes.
I don't think they've changed them so much, but I think that sometimes, did anyone of y'all experience that in the hospital? What, if you went to the hospital? A different code. Code blue usually means someone has passed out. Code red usually means there's a fire, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be afraid for them to change those, but I do know that it seems like I was in a hospital and they didn't call it code blue anymore, but I can't remember what they called it.
Mercy's is code blue.
Emergency code blue?
No, Mercy's is code blue.
Oh, it is. Mercy's is a code blue, yeah.
When we did our tour of the hospital, he said he would just click the nurse button and then have them come do the code, because if you hit the code, you have to, like,
You have to be the person.
and I don't want to do that because, like, I don't remember all of that stuff.
What if
Right.
they're like really far? Like that's sad. Oh, I would start it.
Well,
so-
is there an emergency button to click for the nurse?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's just a call button though. I work there and it's like.
It's just a
pretty
call
much
button,
anytime
right?
you just push
How
the
quickly
button.
do nurses respond is the question. I don't know, you're gonna have to use, I mean, that's a judgment call. I mean, if they're not down there pretty quick, you're gonna start to go blue on them, okay?
Ooh.
But, hopefully you'll never be by yourself, in a situation that your CI will make those kind of calls. We've only had one student who lost a patient at Mercy Hospital in ICU.
I wanted to go there until they told me that, and then I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Well, in however many years, over 20 years I've been working, and I've only had one student lose a patient, but the CI was with him. It wasn't the patient was in ICU and he just went out on him. I don't think they started a code blue on him, but it was kind of traumatic.
Yeah.
They went to work there, I think.
Was he able to finish like the rest of his clinical?
Yeah, he stayed that day. And it wasn't his fault, he just was
yeah.
there. He didn't cause it.
That's traumatic for what?
imagine. Let me get this real quick. Did you meet him, the guy that, I can't think what, he works
No,
at?
the guy that was giving us a tour, he just told us about it. Cause he was like, we went to get him up out of bed or whatever, and he just kinda went out.
Oh, so he was the PT with them?
That's what it made it sound like. He was like, yeah, I think that guy actually was a student at Carl Albert, and I was like, yeah, I'm not there. I don't hear him.
Well, the guy's working up at Stillwell. Actually, he's working in Arkansas, but he lives in Stillwell.
Yeah.
The student.
No, watch out.
Yeah.
He's still alive and doing well.
I'd be terrified.
Just graduate, have much luck finding jobs with COVID?
Actually, we have 2 that still have not tested or, but everybody else has passed. Pretty much they're finding jobs. If they're looking for a job, I'm trying to think who's,
Where'd Toby end up getting a job? I saw that she got a job, but I couldn't find out where.
probably, I'm guessing, at, rehab, total rehab, because they were offering her one there. And Callie went to work in Muskogee. Hunter's working at Salsaw.
Where'd Selena go?
I do not know about Selena. I need to text that girl.
I saw her a few days ago at Walmart.
Did she tell you where she was working?
I didn't talk to her.
You saw her here at Poto's Walmart?
Yeah.
She lives in Mena.
Yeah.
I need to call Selena. I don't know about her.
She got a place, a new place somewhere.
If she has a new place, she's probably
Yeah,
working.
she's got a job, I don't know where it's at, but she's moved back there.
You guys, you do me no good if you don't ask questions, okay? I need to know where students, you guys are always supposed to call me when you get a job. I have to keep up with all that. So I will call Selena. Who else?
Has Kirksey got a job?
Kirksey has not, he's doing something different right now, but he's working on, he and Darby have not done all this stuff, but it's coming. That's what happens when you have a baby in the middle of class, by the way.
Couldn't be me.
We're still strong.
You are! No, but I told you on the first year class I have 3 babies coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What about Mike?
pardon?
Mike?
Big Mike,
Big Mike.
I do not know what Mike's doing.
I miss him.
I know he passed.
Yeah, he passed. They all passed.
Where's
Except
Matthias?
Huh?
Matthias?
Micaiah's working at ELMC and fixing to go to PT school.
Oh.
I know about that.
I'm trying to, who else? Elijah went to work somewhere in Oklahoma in a nursing home. I'd never heard of the little place before. And then, who else is in that class?
You say Elijah went to the nursing home?
Uh-huh. Which is really hilarious.
Makes sense.
I want y'all to know, sometimes y'all
He's
come in and say,
basically
I'll
old
never
man,
do
so-
that, I'll never work in a place like that. But you do.
That's more his speed than
Do you know anything about HLA antibodies?
you. Moves at slow motion.
HLA antibodies, what's it for?
Whenever I donated blood, they sent me a letter and says that like I have
What?
HLA antibodies.
I do not know, I wonder if that's the
It kind of freaked,
COVID.
it kind of freaked me out because in the letter that they sent me, it said that it comes from like pregnant women. And I was like, oh god! Like, so it kind of gave me a scare, but no.
Okay.
But,
Major.
no, I talked to, my mother-in-law, she's a nurse, and she
What
said
is